I forgot I needed dice. I literally had to go get my dice. I'm like, oh, I just remembered.
You might not. Who knows?
Oh no.
No audio from Lucas, but can you hear the rest of us?
Means we own these streets.
The GM has been silenced. We win.
Ah.
We just won.
We just won Cypher
We win the
System. We
game.
won
There we
Infinite
go.
Horizon.
Okay, I'm back now. There we go. Let's try that again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Infinite Horizon, the first episode of Infinite Horizon.
Oh god, that's a weird way to put it, but it's true.
Yeah.
You have to put it that way.
I did, and I I did have to put it that way. Welcome everybody, we're back. And just off stream right before we went live, I just said none of us remember how to do any of this, and I was correct. Drac confirmed it immediately.
I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Dice.
Well, I will say that I've played a lot of games off stream in between seasons, and I've been playing Cypher. I've been GMing Cypher for so long that I have to remind myself every single time to take out my dice because I need them. So I have to yeah. Hi everybody. Welcome to this first episode of Infinite Horizon. Technically it works, I guess, not, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just don't pay attention to what I was saying then, just only pay attention from here on in. I say living dangerously. So tonight we probably have some announcements, and I'm going to just see what comes out of my mouth when I go. So here we are, before we get into tonight's episode. First of all, yes, that is correct. You heard correctly. If you had not heard already, this is, in fact, the beginning of the final season of Infinite Horizon. After which we will be doing something else that we're not going to talk about right now. Don't worry about it. So, we will be doing this for every Wednesday from here until Thanksgiving. And then we're going to take a break for Thanksgiving and then do something else for a little while. Then go on break for like the holidays, and then come back with Infinite Horizon. So for the rest of the season. So yeah, it'll be the end is near. Yeah.
I know we're pretty slow. We take things. Well, might last a while. We'll see. I have anything.
Yeah,
It could be the last season for the next 10 years.
yeah.
It's good.
But my players will drag this shit out. Like they'll just drag it out. Be like, oh, remember that errand that I wanted to run far over there?
We'll just like keep the conflicts going. So
We're gonna get lost in dark space in the last episode.
This is
so
how
we can't...
We're going to find the infinite horizon and the answers to everything.
This is how villains
spoil
start.
it.
This is how
Don't spoil it.
how the villain arc starts. Is all of you, the players, wanting the game to drag on forever, and so you just starting conflicts.
Yeah, we start being the villains after we dealt with them. We're like, we're bored. We need something to tell, some way to have fun. Let's make our own corporation and take over.
Oh no.
Anyway,
that was the turn we took. Season 3 is the
just
third act
took
of
a
this
wild
show.
left turn at the end of it.
Sharp left.
Oh god.
like everyone with power gets corrupted eventually. That'd be such a bummer ending.
It really would.
It really would.
We all make new characters, and the final episode is us playing new characters who are gonna overthrow the original characters.
Oh
like there's
my
always
God.
hope. That's the no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh man.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
and that's when
we've
Infinite
taken this far
Horizon
enough.
comes
We've
in.
taken this far enough. What's the next announcement?
So, yes, the next announcement is as many of you have seen, we've started rolling out our announcements about this. But Rule of Lore is partnering up with Q Times to bring you a 4-part Avatar Legends actual play centered around pro bending called Republic City Rumble, and we just came out with that the first promos about that, just the announcement about it, just this earlier this week. And that cast is going to be, there are going to be two GMs. I can say that because Xander's on the show. Two GMs.
And Sam.
And Sam.
Yeah.
So, we're going to have the first 2 episodes will be taking place over on Q Times with Krug GMing over there. And then the last 2 episodes will be taking place here on this channel with me GMing a cast made up of 2 Q Times regulars and 2 Rule of Lore regulars. The Rule of Lore cast being 1 Liv in a Day. Liv will be here. For that, as well as our very own Remy Ripple. Remy is in the chat. Follow Remy on Twitter.
Follow Remy on Twitter.
That we will never forget.
And then, of course, the cast joined by Sam Delev and Xander Jeanneret from over on Q Times. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
I'm so excited for all of my friends to play together. It's so fun for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm very excited about this.
A crossover episode for
yeah. So yeah, we're that's gonna be happening. The first episode premieres over on Q Times on September 25th. That is a Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And so yeah, that'll be happening. I'm very excited about it. And then, of course, so yes, announcements. More announcements are that many of you already know this if you've been watching Ramblemancy, but if you haven't been and you don't know, our Mass Effect streams are that's fulfillment for our charity event back in April have been moved. They are no longer going to be airing on Twitch, but instead they will be taking place in the Discord. Number 1, solo streaming is exhausting and I'm not good at it. Number 2, it's a lot of extra effort to coordinate people's schedules to come and keep me company so that I am not solo streaming. So instead, just having all of you keep me company in the Discord and chatting with me and watching me do some space adventures. It'll be fun. It was a lot of fun. We did our first one just this past Saturday and it was a blast. So yeah, from now on, except of course during the run of Republic City Rumble, Saturdays in the evenings we'll be in the Discord with the Mass Effect streams. Except for this Saturday, not this one, because scheduling shit got really weird. So not this Saturday, but in general, Saturdays for the Mass Effect stream. Ooh. Yes, Newly Human is exactly right. Come roast me on Saturdays, because that is what happens, apparently, when everybody gets in the Discord with me while I am playing Mass Effect. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun, and it's well worth coming by. If only to hear my voice say hello to you. A true gift. Anyway,
it's true. My alarm clock is actually Lucas's voice saying hello.
Yeah,
I wake up to every morning. It's great. It's the best way to start your day, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, another announcement, and this was one that you may have noticed already, but on stream, on the screen below me, underneath the Infinite Horizon logo, you will notice a donation bar. And that is because, in light of all of the, shall we say, bullshit that is happening on Twitch lately with hate raids and Twitch not getting their shit together faster than literally everybody else has been doing, we are taking steps to actively encourage all of you to support us on places other than Twitch. The main benefits of this are, number 1, sort of continuing protest against sort of Twitch and their inaction with the hate raids that have been leveled against many marginalized creators on the platform, that has just made several of them fully unable to stream as a result of the bullshit that should not be happening. So firstly, in foremost, in protest of that. Secondly is also that you could spend the same amount or less and still be supporting us more than you would by subscribing to us here on this channel. So right now, with the as John put in the chat, we have a couple commands that are in the stream title right now that will bring up a link so you can go and donate to us directly on with Streamlabs. You can set up monthly tipping. You could do one time. It's up to you. And if you would rather go with a more familiar platform, we also still have our coffee available. And I know a couple of you have already switched over to Patreon, which thank you so much, those of you who have joined us on Patreon. We really appreciate it. So all of those are far superior ways to support us, and we highly encourage it. Now, unfortunately, that means that you won't. It's a way to support us where you will not be getting like the emotes, unfortunately, on Twitch. You won't be able to have that sweet catharsis of dropping a sub bomb in the middle of chat. However, it will help us immensely, as well as help us all kind of work towards creating a better and more friendlier and safer platform for all of us here. We can't do much, but we can at least do this. We've already got one tip from John. Thanks, John. And you will notice that the sub goal actually is included on the bar, where I believe right now it is a Jackbox party game night hosted, I believe, in the Discord. So at the end of this month, if that bar is full, we will be having a Jackbox party night hosted by John in our Discord server. So. Yeah, so we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this season of stuff. We've been working behind the scenes to make things a little bit better overall, smoother, and just, yeah. So you'll already start to see some of that. I am almost done with announcements, or maybe I am done. We'll find out in a second while I keep talking. Freeman, stop me anytime if you remember anything that I'm forgetting. I actually think that might be it for Rule of Lore announcements, for channel announcements. So yeah, I'll turn it over to these fine people around me. To any announcements from any of you?
Power Play is currently on a season break, but we are going to be back on September 12th. I want to say same time, same place, 5 p.m. Pacific over on Q Times on Sunday. And we're going to do our long-awaited Vampire Hunters of Port Ruby.
Yes.
It's been a minute. We kept having to reschedule with conflicts and stuff, but that's going to be very fun. And then we have something else that I think is, I don't know. And then I think it's just our season starts in October, or for our next season. But yeah, that's
October's so far away.
I know. I'm so sad. But in the meantime, do that. Watch it on YouTube and listen to it on podcasts. I also made a Bina playlist and I posted it on Twitter. I'll put it in the Discord. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Can I listen to that later?
If you like character playlists as much as I do, I've been curating it for the past like 6 months. So like it's or longer. I don't know actually when I started that, but so it's a labor of love from me to me and also you.
Excellent.
I have a few stuff. I'm the co-founder and event organizer of Friends Roll Dice, and we recently put a player call for we're celebrating BIPOC Vamp Day, which is a day that Betty, which I believe is Betty Cosplay _ on Twitter, created because they, like many of us, have realized that most vampires in fiction are white, and that's kind of boring. So we want to have all BIPOC Vamp Day and celebrate that. And in very loose partnership with Utopia. Honestly, Utopia gave Friends Roll Dice the idea. We're going to be doing a BIPOC Vamp, I guess, half month this September, raising money for Charity Water as we play teach RPGs where you just get to play vampires. People of color get to play vampires. And the play call is out for that, so just check out the Friends Roll Dice Twitter. I retweeted it and quote tweeted it as well, so you can find it on my Twitter. Got some really good games in there. What else? Tomorrow I'm going to be in a campaign, a D&D campaign that's going to be premiering over on Runaway Robot _ on Twitter. And it's a 3-campaign world, and the 3 campaigns are happening at the same time and intermingle. And the theme of it is that we're all playing characters who woke up in hell and we're trying to get out. So you're gonna see my character show up. My character deserves to be in hell, is what I want to say. On Saturday, so that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern over on Runaway Robot underscore. On Saturday at 4 p.m. No, 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. At 7 p.m. Eastern, on Table Story, I'm going to be in the premiere of the 3-part miniseries Root, which is the kind of a just anthropomorphic animals being cute, in like just being very cute fantasy stuff that humans should be doing, but animals. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern over on Table Story. Come see my grumpy rabbit.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah, it really is. It's a ton of fun. That's everything that I can think. Yeah.
Is that the one that you showed me the art for a while? That's incredible. I'm so
yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't have like any big announcements, but next week I will be at Gen Con. So if you're at Gen Con, say hi to me. I'll be around.
That's a big announcement.
Well, I'm very excited, but I know it's not everybody's going this year. There's traveling and stuff. But if you're going, I will be there. So say hi to me. Keep an eye on my Twitter. I might just tweet where I am at different points so that anyone who wants to can come hang. So, and also Lily, who you will know from this channel as Captain Desiree, will also be there. So come say hi to us.
Yeah. Olivia and Lily will be the closest thing to an official Rule of Lore presence that Gen Con will have this year. So official, like closest thing to official in the sense that it's not an official presence. It's just you are officially part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll be the brand ambassador.
There you go. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Hey, here's my card. Here's my card.
I think that might be everything. Oh, I do have one more announcement, which is follow Remy on Twitter. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. Yes, Remy posts. Follow Remy on Twitter.
My last announcement is that I'm very excited for the season 3 of Infinite
I
Horizon.
was gonna say the same thing. Very excited to be here.
Hell yeah. Thank you everybody so much who's donated already. Holy crap. Thank you so much. Y'all are incredible. Let's get this game started tonight. If I remember how to do that. Okay, here we go. And we're back. Hello. No recap screen today, so I fully have forgotten how to do everything. So I don't know why I pulled the book out. I just wanted to have it present, not like in front of me.
Blanket, a safety blanket.
Yes, a security blanket. I'm just gonna hold on to. Just gonna sit here and like hold on to the security blanket right here. Just Which actually is a good reminder because I actually did have one more. It's not really an announcement. It's more of an acknowledgement, which is like, I feel like. I mean, we rave about Monte Cook games all the time, like on Ramblemancy and off stream and whatever. But like on this show, I think we have not done anywhere close to enough to fully appreciate Monte Cook games. Yeah. But like literally, this Infinite Horizon would literally not be possible without the folks at Monte Cook Games. They're good people. They make excellent games, and they're super supportive just in general of creative efforts done by folks using their products, and they're just really great. If any of you were paying attention to social media this week, you'll notice that they were mistakenly put on the yellow list. Of that games they were put on yellow.
Was it yellow?
They were put on yellow. They know nothing about Monte Cook games. They should have been on the red easily.
In the red. What the
red
fuck?
Easily. Just a overall poorly researched list. Pointless, but also poorly researched.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is neither here nor there. Uh,
Just for anyone who's wondering what list, just in case you don't. Yeah, I knew saw Caitlin's face. Some a very clear and very loud bigot made a list of wokeness games, like games that were woke on a scale of red to green, and the green ones were the ones that weren't trying to be woke, and the red ones were woke. You should avoid these woke games. And for some really weird reason, Monte Cook was on yellow, but
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast is on red,
right, like
as if it was. So I was like, this person clearly wasn't didn't do the research.
Yeah.
My dude.
They gave reasons why next to it as well, and some of them were kind of crap. They were like, I think one of them was literally was like, oh, they give you an option to put pronouns in. They're pandering to the woke community, and they put them in yellow.
The
for that.
woke community.
Anyway,
God.
It was bad.
that's
Let's-
not the most
That
important
T
thing.
isn't in this universe.
Yeah, the most important thing that you should know is that Monte Cook Games are an incredible company. They're an incredible group of people, and we appreciate them a lot here on this channel. Okay, let's get into tonight's episode, which I fully don't know how to do. So we're just gonna hope we
Yes,
get
you
there.
do. Yeah, you do.
You're right, I do. We begin. It has been about 3 weeks since the events at the super. Stop. Okay. It has been 3 weeks since the events at the Prime Conduit, with the destruction of this constructed conduit. The Resistance returned, or the members of the Resistance, the crew of Awakener, returned to set about the continued efforts of the Resistance. Where we begin tonight, we will say we begin, if this were the opening shot of a film, it would begin with a purple and amber skyline that, as the camera just would sort of pan down, begins to reveal a very just sort of vertically built cityscape. There's air traffic that is filling the skies above this city. There are teeming multitudes of people wandering through the streets as the camera sort of slowly lowers, revealing more and more of this sprawling cityscape. As it goes down, we begin to see more and more of the striations of the different areas of the city, from the immaculate high-rise district going down below the first street level, down to the next street level, where we see sort of open bazaars, people crowded shoulder to shoulder, hawking their wares and trying to find the best deals. Street vendors shouting, trying to attract the attention of customers on the street. Lower still to the seedier undercity, filled with ramshackle huts and hovels that have been kind of cobbled together with scrap material and all kinds of things, set against the backdrop of the underworks of the city, the industrial districts, the utilities, those kinds of things. And as we focus in here, we focus in an alley, with the sounds of distant traffic and the buzz of the city now sort of muted against the the more subdued and tense atmosphere of the Undercity. Focus in on a figure who steps out of the shadows, walking down a narrow street lit only by neon signs. Long coat, just sort of flapping gently in the breeze, the artificial breeze created by enormous industrial-sized ventilation fans that stick out of several of the buildings down below. In this part of the city where even the fading sunlight doesn't reach. Mason, you move quickly through the streets, sort of darting from corner to corner as you glance around. The occasional shrouded figure sort of moving out of your path, sort of seeming to evanesce into the shadows as you move purposefully through the street. Occasionally, you note an individual or two seem to find a little bit of their little bit of courage and start to try to follow you for a moment, but they're easily dissuaded with a hard look. You make your way through this alley till you find a sort of turn off from that leads into a small courtyard. In that courtyard, there are only a handful of figures seated or standing or leaning in various places in this courtyard, sort of watching as you approach. None of them appear outwardly to be armed, but you, Mason, know better. As you walk up to one of them, an Anzalonian man, he's the only one not wearing a helmet. His long white hair sort of gathered behind him in a messy ponytail. He looks down at you and says, "What do you want? You the one here for the contact?"
That would be me.
You're late.
Oh, well, it's not easy. Had to dodge a few characters along the way, you know?
He nods to one of the people sitting next to him, who stands up and just pulls up like a handheld terminal and just sort of holds it up against you. And you see as sort of like the scanning lights sort of out and sort of scan your features, and then you see as he looks, he turns to the Anzalonian and nods. Anzalonian goes, "Right then." He says, "Up the stairs, 3rd floor, 3rd door on the right." He just boom, boom, knocks on the door twice. The door opens, and you can see inside just sort of like a sort of shadowy interior of, and sort of this is very clearly like the back entrance to a sort of a stairwell that leads up into the building itself.
Mason just takes one last drag from his mostly done cigarette, filterless cigarette, and like flicks it on the ground and kind of like steps on it with the tip of his shoe, put it out, and then walks in.
All right. You follow this person's directions, going up the stairs. Some of the landings are barricaded in some places, you can see, but even through those barricades, looking out, you can see the eyes of individuals inside, sort of like glancing at you as you pass with suspicion. But you continue up the stairs. As you reach the 3rd floor, you step off into a corridor that you can see. Where you are right now is like an old, what must have been once an old office building, but has long since been abandoned, at least for that purpose. You walk through kind of the length of the corridor, and after passing a couple of doors, you stop in front of one. pushing it open, you step into a room that that actually does have windows that look out over the streets. Not that there's much of a view to be had, as mostly what you can see from here is other buildings and industrial ventilation and just some of the large pipes that sort of run a lot of the water through the city. The shutters are lowered, but you can still see the slats of the shutters are open, letting in some of that neon glow from outside into the room, giving it a sort of mixing with the insufficient overhead lighting of the room that kind of gives it a almost a very sort of surreal appearance inside the room. As you step inside, there are 4 individuals inside this room. 3 of them are armored and armed similarly to the ones that you ran into outside and saw throughout the building. But one of them, a Lumnian, rather kind of gray-skinned, bony head ridges, and just almost a very sort of spiky nose ridges running up along the bridge. Shorter than most, than Lumnians tend to be. Just is seated in the chair opposite an empty chair across a smallish table, and he looks at you and says, "Have a seat."
I approach the chair, and I'd like to make a quick observation about the quality of chair we're sitting in here, his chair included.
Yeah, not great. These very much are whatever this universe's equivalent of folding chairs. It's just not basically card table chair type thing.
Got it. Just gonna sit on down.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
He leans across the table and says, "So, word is, you've been asking around about the activities of some of the syndicates out here in the border worlds."
The word is correct.
And rumor says that you're part of this resistance thing, looking to find allies out here in the border worlds. You really think that's gonna work?
Yeah, it's worth a try, right? What do you have to lose?
Right. Well, I told you I might have some information that you might want. So, to business then. Mason, I'm gonna have you make just sort of a general. There's basically a general vibe check of this room, just to make.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Perception, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm specialized in it now, baby.
All right, hell yeah. That's right. Everybody is tier 6 now. Whole party is tier 6 now.
Yeah, I'm gonna perceive with my perceiving
right.
eye.
So this is gonna be a difficulty of an intellect roll, and the difficulty of this is gonna be 4, I think.
Is there anything to identify as well? I have identify as a skill.
I don't think so. Not
investigation.
Yeah, so that's gonna yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm only trained in that at the moment, but
okay.
I think I'll go with that right now. So that's specialized in perception and trained in investigation.
Yeah, okay, so that brings it down to a difficulty 1.
Okay.
So you just need a 3 or better right now.
Here I go. Do it. 19.
Shit, that's a minor effect. So then I know I'm gonna give you additional information. So
okay, that sounds good.
As he says those words to business, then you see that he kind of opens his jacket and kind of reaches for what is very clearly you can see it, he has made a show of opening and making sure that you know what you can see he's reaching for what looks like a collection of data chips that are in his coat. But a thing that here's the result of your perception here is that you note the other individuals in the room have gone from their sort of like relaxed, kind of slouched against the wall kind of posture to a much more upright, almost sort of tense posture. And the other thing that you note, and this was from your minor effect here, you also note that as this man in front of you sort of opens his coat a little bit, you note an insignia that you haven't seen in quite a few years, actually, since your regulator days. It is basically it is a fanged skull that has with sort of like technological looking eyes, like sort of composite eyes, probably like several larger ones and a bunch of smaller ones, set over a basically like what looks like a sunrise kind of set behind it. And you recognize this, just sort of this blood red sunrise. You recognize this as the symbol of the Alzira's crime gang. And as you see that, immediately like alarm bells begin ringing in your brain. He continues reaching for the data chips.
I'm trying to remember this gang off the top of my head.
Yeah. So this is the gang that is that's headed up by one Sly Alziras.
That's right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mason's going to poker face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He pulls out the data chips and just sort of like slides them across the table towards you, but doesn't remove his hand from them. And he says, "Well, everything you need to know is on there. Unfortunately, for you, you are never gonna see what's on these chips." And he says, "Mr. Alziras sends his regards." And at that moment, Mason, you see the other individuals in the room beginning to move. What would you like to do? You definitely have the jump on them for sure.
Yeah,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to activate the. I know I'm inside. This is great, but I'm going to activate the flying thing that I have, my little ring that causes me to I'm going to leap up and I want a full kick. Is he behind a table?
Yeah, he is.
I want to kick the table towards him and try to grab the things out of his hand while I kick the table at him and fly backwards.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you?
Oh my God, so many things.
Why don't you go ahead and give me? There's going to be a speed task. The difficulty on this one is going to be 4.
Perfect. Trained in speed defense. I don't know if this is a defense.
No,
I'm
this
not
defending. Not defense. No.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to spend 2 levels of effort.
Excellent.
And actually, I'm going to spend 3. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Oops, I'm shaking the whole
brings
table.
it down to a 1, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
All right. So you just need 3 or better on this one.
Where did I put the D? Oh,
jump into the air.
Yeah, I'm skilled in jumping, but this is not really.
I'm reaching immediately. Episode 1.
All right. So go ahead.
5.
Okay. So yeah, you immediately leap up into the air, kicking the table over onto him at the same moment as you kind of grabbing his hand the whole time on the table. As the table catches him in the middle, he surprised lets go of the data chips that you just grabbed. And in this moment, the other individuals in the room, all of them fire instantaneously, like simultaneously at you. I need you to make I need you to make a speed defense roll. The difficulty on this is going to be 6.
All right, that I'm trained in.
And I think you got power shifts too.
And like 2 in dexterity power shift.
Yep.
And I'm gonna spend some speed. Let's see. I think that already brought me down to 3. I'm going to spend. Oh, I have. Okay, yep. I'm gonna spend from my speed pool about 3 from there as well. Hehehe.
Okay. All right. So, did you roll? You did not roll yet, right?
Not yet. Hold on.
Okay.
4.
Ooh. Okay. I will be honest with you. I fully got distracted and did not track what the difficulty was, how much you'd lowered it by. So
it was at 6, and I'm trained in speed defense, and I have 2 power shifts in dexterity.
Okay.
And then I believe I spent 3 from my speed pool.
Sorry. How many levels of effort did you spend?
Or I spent 1. I didn't spend any effort. I just took from my pool. Oh wait, I'm totally got confused. No, I spent 1 speed. I spent my last effort.
Okay. Well, you can. This is a different check, so you
Effort.
could. This is a different check, so you can spend more than that. If you
That's
want.
so true. My gosh, I also forgot how to play.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Nobody remembers how to do anything.
I
How-
spent
what's your edge? Speed edge?
2,
So how many points did you spend?
3.
So that
That'd be 2 levels of effort. So yeah.
Yeah. So you pass.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you
cool,
pass
cool.
with a 4 for sure. Yeah. So
Way.
None of us remember. Cypher,
He
hardly know
worked.
her.
I'm
That's
glad you
the
brought it
worst.
into episode 1.
yeah.
We do hardly know her.
So Mason just as all 3 of these individuals fire simultaneously on Mason. Go ahead and describe to me like Mason's maneuvers here.
Yeah, so as soon as Mason gets a hold of the chips and kicks the table back, he's using the inertia from that kick to fly back, and he's going to basically try to leap from various parts of furniture and walls to get to the back out the way he came, while dodging things.
Sounds good. Yeah. So as like the fire, like the weapons fire is just sort of going around the room, Mason, you are like leaping around the room, just being impossible to pin down. You reach the door, which opens, and there is another individual standing with a weapon pointed directly at you at the door. And just as you were, like, before you have a chance to react, you watch as this sort of, like, magenta haze begins to just sort of, like, materialize behind him. And an arm reaches out of it, grabs him, and just pulls him in. The magenta haze vanishes, at which point you hear a sound behind you, like of surprise, as you turn around, seeing another sort of like magenta-looking portal open up, and you watch as Becker steps out of the portal, just like immediately turns and just sprays the room with his pistol, forcing everybody, like all of them, to just sort of like go sprawling to the ground, as they sort of struggle to kind of recover here. Mason, what are you doing?
Ooh, I'm going to pull out. I'm going to secure the chips, and I'm going to pull out my firearm.
Okay. Who are you aiming at?
I'm going to aim at the character behind the table,
Okay.
who I just kicked down, I hope.
Fair
I'm gonna
enough.
aim at him.
All right, go ahead and give me this is gonna be a difficulty. It's gonna be a difficulty 3. He is stuck behind a table. He is currently tangled up in that. So go ahead and difficulty 3 on this attack.
Cool. I'm just gonna roll. I'm not trying to get damage at this point. I'm gonna just see if I can keep him down.
Okay.
I got a 1
Oh no.
and no XP.
Okay, great. Love that. I don't even have my intrusion deck out. So here's what happens. As you go to like aim to fire at him, you immediately behind you, you very suddenly like you hear the sound of like a oh no, you know what? Here's what happens. This makes more sense. You go to fire at him, and but as you aim, you look at him. You notice that he is holding in his hand what looks like a panic switch, basically. That he hits, that he has already depressed, and you can see the little light is blinking on it. Does not appear to be any kind of like explosive, anything like that. This is more like calling in the reinforcements kind of thing. So yeah, you.
Becker, it might be a good time to get out of here, maybe.
He looks to see where you're at and glances and says, "Well, you were right about this being a trap."
Yeah. Yep.
He says, "Well, I guess drinks are on me then." And
damn straight.
He like leans. Oh, he sort of goes over. Basically, at this point, everybody is like fully subdued. Like they're all like on the ground. Like several of them have just like tossed weapons away from them, and are just sort of like hunkering down on the ground. Becker goes over to the window and like looks out, like takes the barrel of his weapon, peeks out. Okay, well, I don't see any of them coming. And then you see, he turns back to you and says, "Do you hear that?" As you listen, you hear unmistakably the sounds of like repulsor engines coming closer.
Yes, that's not good.
He listens and then just kind of like peeks up and out. He says, "You have got to be kidding me." He looks over at one of them. He says, "Who has a gunship these days?" And he says, "Well, quick getaway."
Sounds good.
And he gestures you over and like grabs you as soon as you get closer, and just creates just another portal and pulls you through it. As the two of you are suddenly out on the city street, a couple levels up. So there is a little bit of the last vestiges of daylight sort of filtering down on you. Running through the streets. Becker says, Okay. Did you at least get the data?"
I got the data.
Good. All right. Wasn't a total waste then. We're definitely going to have Ada look that over when we get back, because I don't want any viruses being sent back with us to the base.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
He glances around and says, "Just over here." And as you turn a corner, you see the hovercraft that the two of you arrived in, that has just been like, it is covered in like a paint spackled tarp with just like debris and trash around it. Becker runs over to it and just begins pulling it down.
I help.
Yeah. He opens the door to it and says, "Okay, give me a second. This thing is old and a piece of junk, and it's gonna take a second to get it spooled up." And he rushes inside and hops into the pilot's seat. Mason, you hear from somewhere nearby, you hear the sound of what appears, though that same like repulsor engine sound is now once again getting louder.
Oh, they might be onto us. I would just do what you're doing. I trust you completely.
He looks
100%.
over his shoulder at you and says, "How the hell did they find us so quick?" And he just...
There might be tracking us right now. I'm going to pull out my chips, and I'm going to look to see if there's any chips real quick that are blinking or looking weird.
Yeah. As you're looking through them, yeah, here's what I will tell you. One of those things is definitely not a data chip. You can see that one of them appears to be some sort of location tracker.
Okay, I take that one, and I'm going to run a few zigzags with my speed and around somewhere, and I'm going to plant that chip somewhere else, far a good distance away from us.
I imagine like you're just going, you see like a vehicle passing by, like a dump truck or something equivalent or whatever, and just sort of
it's gonna right into the where the garbage goes.
Yeah. And the truck just passes by you, and you back up into kind of the street that you came from just in time to watch a small gunship just sort of basically just a military-grade hovercraft just sort of past, zooming after that, just in time as you back up into the street.
I'm gonna head back.
Okay, you get back just in time as Becker just finally gets you watch as the engine just sputters out this like horrible like black smoke, and just sputters for a second and then rears up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Becker looks back, says, "All right, get in."
Flies in.
Yeah. And with that, the hovercraft takes off and just. He turns back to you and says, "Okay, all right, that didn't go quite as bad as I thought it was going to." So.
It's about what I expected, honestly.
Yeah. Well, listen, I already told you drinks are on me. And he kind of settles back into the seat. Says, "All right."
I hate being right.
He just shakes his head. Says, "Yeah, I hate it when you're right too." And with that, I think we will go ahead and cut elsewhere. We will cut to the medical bay of the Resistance headquarters, just outside, as two figures sort of standing sort of anxiously outside of the medical wing. One of them, a young Nelfin woman, Sedona, who is just sort of wearing sort of just like just wearing like maintenance overalls over top of like a really flowery, like flower patterned shirt, just sort of like standing, just sort of arms crossed anxiously, just sort of crossing and uncrossing them. And next to her, Bina, you're just sort of there, feeling her anxiety just sort of radiating off of her.
All four arms crossed, walking in circles.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want like a chill? I can give you a chill if you want. Calm down just like a little bit.
No, it's okay.
Like, not that you have to, but like I can help if you just offering again.
No, I'm fine. I just
Both of them are nervous right now.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
you need to chill down. She's clearly really anxious. Chill down, calm down. God.
Yeah. She is just sort of. She hasn't looked at you as she's been responding to you. Her eyes are sort of fixated on the door to the medical wing, and she turns to sort of like with sort of an irritated expression, like clearly about to say something, to you, but before she can even get it out of her mouth, the door to the medical wing opens.
Our heads
just immediately back. And you see as Abriel steps out holding a handheld terminal and stops and looks up at both of you, and she goes, "Oh,
directly
for
in
fuck's
front
sake."
of her.
She says, "I told you I'll release him later today. I'm still finishing up the results of the last test."
Well, it's later than the last time we asked, so I like look at Sedona for like, right? Like,
and she's like,
yeah.
And it's earlier than when it's happening. He'll be released when he's released. How about that? Do you want me to just ping you on your terminals when it's time? I can do that.
Yes, please.
Good. And when I say that, I mean that I don't want you to hang out outside of the medical wing.
Fine. I like peek around her shoulder.
Yeah,
into the
she just very
doorway.
pointedly, like without breaking eye contact, hits a button on the terminal, and the door just closes behind her. She says, "Now, unless you have a medical emergency, I would kindly ask you to leave." And I emphasize kindly because everything in my body is telling me to do so otherwise.
No.
Um,
Fine.
yeah.
How close is any place to eat near here? Is it
yeah,
anywhere near
it's
here?
not yeah, the commons is not too far away. Like
we'll go hang out down the hallway.
Yeah, you make your way back to the commons, just posting up, not even at one of the tables, just like at one of the
like a bench in the hallway,
yeah.
Next to it.
Yeah. And
I have a snack. I'm just looking down the hallway.
Yeah, you oh, hold on. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. As the two of you sort of post up there, Sedona turns to you and just says, "It's been 3 weeks that she's kept him in there.
I know.
How many tests could she possibly be running?"
So many. I don't know. I get it. We don't know what he did. Really. We don't know what's gonna happen. Really. But also, it's been a really long time. So that's fun.
Bina, do you think he's gonna be okay?
He has to be. So yeah.
Every time I've seen him, he's been barely conscious. Abriel says that he needs to rest, and then won't let me see him for more than a couple minutes at a time. But
I could feel him, right? Last time we checked,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in there. He's just got some fighting to do on his own, I think.
Okay. But the fact that she's releasing him today means he's okay, right? That there's nothing. He's not in danger anymore, or.
Theoretically. If he was in danger, you've met Abriel. She wouldn't let him leave if he was still in danger.
Right. You can definitely feel that your words have not helped even a little bit.
Bina doesn't entirely believe what she's saying. Of course, they're not helping.
Yeah. As the two of you are sitting there, you watch Bina. You become aware of another familiar presence walking up, and you look up to see Alma walking over, and she says, "Any word? Did you see him yet?"
Oh, we were told that it wasn't. That later wasn't now later. It's later. So.
Okay. Well, if you need something to occupy your time while you're waiting,
we have snacks. Completely untouched.
she looks at them and says, "Maybe do that first. But I actually might have a couple of quick diagnostics I'd like you to run on the."
I can do that. What on what?
On the ventilation in the southern wing.
Is it still acting up?
It's closer, but it's fine now. I just want to make sure that all the levels are remaining stable this time.
Okay.
Last time we had a capacitor blowout, so I want to make sure that doesn't happen this time.
Okay, I can fix it. I can make sure it's still fixed. Okay, and she tosses back. What are I already forgot what they're called. The
Demioka?
Yes, yeah, I have a bunch of those.
Mm-hmm.
She tosses as many of them back as she can really fast, and then takes Sedona's. That she also has to touch. Put her cup underneath it to double cup it and give it back to Sedona. For no reason other than she's doing things now.
Sedona doesn't even really seem to notice. Her eyes are fixated on the corridor.
Yeah.
And
I'll see you soon. Okay.
She looks up and goes, "Oh, what? Yeah, sure. I'll be.
Eat those.
I'll be here."
Eat those.
She takes one, and then puts it back, and then seems to entirely forget about it.
I'll take it. It's something.
Alma just sort of gestures along and says, "How's she doing?"
More stressed than I am, which is making me more stressed than I am. But she's still upright, so she's been sleeping at least a little bit.
That's good. That's good. Last week, I was getting really worried about her.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any word from Mason or Becker yet. Not since they reported in that they'd be coming back soon. So.
Oh, that's good.
As far as I know, they're still in transit. So.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's been weird not having everybody here.
Maybe we make dinner?
Yeah.
Everybody gets back? That'd be fun.
Yeah. And everything goes according to plan. Maybe Jade will be able to join us.
Fingers crossed. All four. All four fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right.
Diagnostics. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, we'll go ahead and cut to elsewhere, kind of in the situation room of the resistance base. Peach, you are currently in the middle of getting a report from both General Antos and Revorza, respectively, the head of the military operations of the Resistance and the head of intelligence. As well as Wire and Zaya are also in the room, as General Karen Antos, a Keldro man, sort of stocky of build, hair cropped down into a very military cut, wearing a military uniform with no insignia on it, as he always does. He is in the process of kind of debriefing, as in this moment, however, Peach, you haven't heard a word that he's said for the past few minutes, as you have your terminal open to your message history with Vix, just sort of waiting.
Yeah.
And the last message on there saying, I've checked around some of the parks that they've turned into refugee camps in the city. I'll let you know if I find her. That's the last message from him from about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I just send back a message, trying to type kind of subtly, any updates, question mark. And then I see it's been 3 hours and I'm like, oh damn, I don't know if it's been long enough that this is an appropriate question, but it's already been sent.
At this moment, you just hear, are we keeping you from something? As you look up and you see that the general is looking directly at you.
Sorry, trying to do too many things at once. Could you repeat the last two minutes?
He looks over at Revorza.
I really appreciate it.
Revorza just brings up one of her arms and just kind of turns, clearly hiding a smirk at this whole situation. And the general goes, yes, I was saying that the corporate attacks on the capitals of both, well, not just the capitals, but the major political centers of both the Commonwealth and the Ascendancy, we're still getting back the numbers of in terms of damages and casualties. It is fully chaos out there. Without any clear leadership taking charge, there's a lot of panicked people doing what desperate panicked people do. As far as our reports go, Ascendancy leadership has all consolidated back to Apex. Neither side has revealed any indication of who or how many of the leadership were lost in the attacks.
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not. Their silence on the matter almost speaks louder than any official reports would. I'm also increasingly concerned about the complete lack of corporate presence anywhere after the attacks.
Yeah, and Revorz, I know you gave some updates, but have we gotten any word from any of our sources about corp activity anywhere?
Well, aside from just the reports from some of the affected areas, people, rioters in the street trying to take out their frustration on local corporation headquarters, there hasn't been too much. I've had people scanning for trying to get anything in corporate space, but they are locked up tight there. Security is difficult, and it's been hard to get anyone inside. They have rigorous checks taking place at every checkpoint that they've set up to every conduit entry into corporate space. I'm not sure how this can't be affecting their profit margins positively.
That's good to hear, I guess. I think this brings us to a question that I think it's been on my mind, it's probably been on everyone's mind here. At what point is the power vacuum and the confusion creating so much chaos that we have no choice but to put a face to the resistance?
There are some glances sort of exchanged around the table, with like varying expressions. Zaya just sort of like nodding, and the general's expression just sort of stoic and unreadable as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And Revorza and Wire's very clear apprehension at your words.
Is Taeon in this meeting? Taeon, are you in this meeting?
I don't think so. Taeon is not in this meeting.
Okay.
So they look around, and the general just says, "It's a risky move, but something's got to change soon." And he kind of looks over at Wire, who just every time you've brought this up before, Wire has been probably the first person to say like, "Not a good idea."
Yeah.
And at this moment, her expression is not making you optimistic about any change of heart she might have had, but she looks up at you and just says, "Look, we've been over this. Right now is our most vulnerable. There is nothing now standing in between the corporations and any kind of reprisal against us. They know we exist now, not just for our actions at the Prime Conduit, but also with the inclusion of Sulan publicly joining the Resistance. We've got targets on our back now, and with the General's forces scattered throughout the galaxy trying to lend a hand where we can, there is nothing standing in the way of any kind of reprisal they might take against us."
I mean, this is one of our most vulnerable times, but this is everyone's most vulnerable times. I mean, the galaxy is in upheaval. No one knows what's going on anywhere. And to provide some clarity to people, something to have, I don't know, hope in, rather than just a vague concept, I think would be really helpful. And it would help our recruitment, and it would help everything we're trying to do here. This is also the Corp's most vulnerable time. There has never been a moment like this for them, ever.
Zaya nods. "I agree. I mean, at this point, they've basically shown their asses to the entire galaxy. Everybody knows what they're about now. People might be confused, but you see it even here, and she points like at the report that like Revorza sent around. She says, even here, they know who to direct their anger at. I mean, it's maybe a little bit misguided attacking the local corporate centers rather than turning their ire towards corporate space and the actual power structures, but they know. I say I'm with the princess here. I say we capitalize on this.
Thanks, Saya. I know we'd have a lot to figure out. I mean, there would be a process for this, and I'm not saying tonight, but it's something that we need to consider and consider fast, because if we don't step in, we don't know who will.
There is a moment of silence as everybody sort of seems to consider the words that have been said here, and Wire finally just sort of, okay, Mason and Becker will be back soon with whatever intel they've managed to gather about the situation in the border worlds. I say we hold off doing anything, making any decisions until they get back, until we know more, until we've had a chance to analyze everything that they've come up with, and then we'll revisit this conversation. Does that work for everybody? The general just sort of he glances over at you, Peach, and you there's something there's something sort of like unspoken behind that you can't quite parse. But he kind of glances at you, and then looks over at Wire and just sort of nods. Revorza shrugs and says, I'll have my people ready to begin analyzing the data.
I know you're going to do this anyway, but keep me updated with the latest reports and numbers.
Wire nods. Says, look, nobody wants to go after these bastards more than me. But we've worked so hard just to get here. Last thing I want to see is for us to undo all of that in a reckless action. At the very least, let's take a moment to make sure it's not that reckless after all.
As long as this moment doesn't turn into too long.
You can see like Wire like in a rare moment, a rare display of emotion. You can see that she kind of like flushes and her like brows furrow at that. But she like you can tell that you fully like got under her skin with that comment.
Nice.
And she says, well, I think that's enough of this for today. I'll keep everyone updated on Mason and Becker's ETA. And without another word, she just rolls her chair away over kind of to the corner where her desk is.
Gonna turn to the general. I think that went well.
He sort of gives a very, very like sort of half smirk and just says, you know, went better than I thought it was going to. He says, for what it's worth, I'm not a big fan of the whole hurry up and wait thing either, but he says, you keep working on her. We'll get there eventually. And he nods to you and Zaya and Revorza, and both of them like kind of take their leave. And as Zaya just says, she just like drums on the table a little bit, just sort of like, so, you have look, I let it slide for the last couple of weeks because there's been a lot happening, but hit and run attacks on power centers across the galaxy is no excuse for letting your training slack. So,
isn't it an excuse?
I'd say, you know what, you're right. I'd say you earned yourself a bit of a grace period with that one. Let's say about 3 weeks, maybe. Sound about right?
So you're now ready to kick my ass again.
Yeah, grace period's over
hearing.
actually, as of now. So.
Okay. Yeah, and Peach is like, she's gonna like check her her messages again with Vix, like as she's kind of like walking and she's like talking to Zaya, but also like on like looking down at her.
As you're doing, Zaya kind of clocks that as you're walking, and she says, "Still no word about your mom?"
No. I don't really think she's where Vix is looking, but I don't know where else to check, so.
Yeah.
Well, I have lots of places that I want to check, but I don't know where to start checking.
Yeah. Well, you got some of Revorza's people out there too, right?
Yeah.
Well, if she's out there to be found, they'll find her. And then she pauses for a moment and says, I mean, like she's out there. I mean, they're gonna find her. That's what I meant to say, is that they're gonna find her.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt that she's alive out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I just don't know how easy she's going to be to find if she doesn't want to be found.
Yeah. Well, I really hope they find something soon. Not knowing is the worst.
I think I am ready to have my ass kicked by you again, Zaya.
Great. Yeah. No, this is a great mindset to really just hit something, you know? Maybe you'll actually manage to hit me this time.
Yeah, I mean, I hit Taeyeon once in a fight, so I feel like I feel like really? I could get
All right.
I'm still riding that high.
Let's see what you got. And the two of you make your way over in that direction. And speaking of Taeyeon, we will go ahead and cut to Taeyeon as you see yourself just like you did in that brief vision when in Entity's domain. You are watching yourself as a child walking up to that plinth in those underground ruins on Desh. You are watching yourself as if simultaneously from your own eyes back then and as an outside observer. Knowing full well what's going to happen, you still watch it with this sense of inevitability that is just sort of crushing down upon you. And you see in that moment, as that brief rift just sort of forms in the air in front of you, as the younger you notices it, and a blast of energy just sort of strikes that younger Taeyeon full in the chest. And when that happens, you find yourself once again in perspective of the younger you, as your vision just begins to run through all kinds of times and places unfamiliar to you. Some of them are this cave, but they look different. And all of this completely familiar to you, as you now have remembered, you've recalled after your encounter with Entity. The memories have slowly started coming back to you, as well as when you're reliving them in your dreams. You have seen some of those things, those bits and pieces that had been forgotten in the aftermath of that instant, the moment that you received your abilities. But this time, immediately you notice that there's something different. This time, you see... Yeah, it is. There's someone else here, too. And as you're looking through this light that is coming through the rift, these multitude of locations just sort of blurring in that light, blurring together, almost as if being projected on a screen in front of you. You see a figure, indistinct, who is looking back at you, and although you can't see details, you feel something And that something is someone else's shock and confusion mirroring yours as you make eye contact across this great rift. And suddenly you are awake in your bunk, just sort of sitting up, sitting upright, alone in the room, in just sort of the dark. You sort of sit up, looking around the empty room, sort of has fallen into disarray in the last couple of weeks as you've had your attentions elsewhere. You kind of glance towards the clock on the wall next to the door, and as you look, you can see that it's somewhere in kind of like the late afternoon. But you sit up, kind of coaxing yourself into wakefulness. I think you're muted.
Well, I have never remembered that. I think he takes a moment, like sits there and kind of like tries to recall the memory of his dream to see if he can. I think he knows it won't work, but just trying to recall the memory of the dream to see if he can, I don't know, somehow, I guess, like enhance image now that he's awake, just to, like, who could it be?
As you focus on it, it's like dreams where the harder you focus on it, the harder it is to really, like, the further away it seems to get.
Shit. Okay, I'm gonna sleep long enough. And I think he slowly gets out of bed, and I think up on, like, not on his walls, but like projected up on the walls and stuff are like news articles of what happened on the day, on the targeted strikes on different towns and cities and different planets. Kind of has that up from last I was going to say last night, but he fell asleep probably this morning. So this morning, when he was kind of like, he wants to say it was like research, but I think at this point it's more like just punishment, seeing what he couldn't stop.
Yeah. Your vision kind of pans across those now endlessly familiar news clippings, the attacks that took place all over the Commonwealth and the Ascendancy, the targeted strikes on the power structures of both places that happened simultaneously to your mission to the Prime Conduit. What you're looking at right now is essentially like small, like, holographic pages that have images of, they're basically like almost like GIFs, right? Where they're just these short repeating videos of like the smoking ruins of various city centers across the galaxy, where orbital strikes staged by corporate fleets just quickly came in and in one fell swoop just decapitated the power base of both the Ascendancy and the Commonwealth. You're looking across all of this, and in that moment, as many moments prior to this, over the course of the last few weeks, you cannot help but feel that sort of despair at the hollowness of the victory that you and your friends scored, or thought that you did.
Yeah, I think he kind of stands there just staring at it for a moment. It's the type of things that were meant to stop. We're meant to stop the battlefield from ever crossing to civilian territory, but we couldn't. We couldn't stop this. And I think he's just gonna like turn about face and head straight for the door. And I think probably for the more, like, he's done this multiple times, he's gonna head over to like the kind of training rooms where everyone practices their powers. It's like makes a beeline for the area.
Okay. Yeah, you get there, and there's not that many people here at this time. But as you kind of glance around the room, you can see where there are just a few people kind of just lifting. There's a couple of people who are making use of the cardio equipment. And as your sort of scan sort of sweeps the room, you notice a figure that has sort of was walking towards you that then sort of stopped as they noticed you. As you look over and you see Ada Sprix, sort of has like a towel over their shoulder and like a gym bag over the other one, as she sort of stops and just sort of looks at you and says, "Oh, hi. I didn't think that you would be here."
Okay. Yeah, sorry, didn't want. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, I was just leaving actually. I was just finishing up.
Okay.
Or,
Oh, I was gonna, I guess, I'll see you later, Ada.
yeah. I'll see you later.
I think
Yeah. Go ahead.
he kind of like immediately heads to one of the rooms that I think I remember, if I remember correctly, last time. Uh, I get Zaya and Waya's just names mixed up. Zaya, where Zaya and Theon had sparred at one point,
Mm-hmm.
like the kind of like private
Yeah.
rooms in one of those. And I think he just like gives her like an awkward look, kind of like awkward nod and like a nod goodbye, I guess. I don't know, to Ada, and then walks just head straight there,
Yeah.
avoiding eye contact as much as possible.
Yep. You don't even have to look, but you know that she's just sort of stands there for a little bit after you left, kind of not turned away from like her back to you as you had like kind of walked past her. And then as you are kind of closing the door to the room that you are going into, you can see that her head just sort of like slowly tilts down, and she exits the gym.
I'm trapped. Is what he said. Okay.
Two.
I think like he kind of like rests his back against the door. Takes a breath, and when he opens his eyes again, he just his whole demeanor has gone straight back to like stoic and business, I suppose. And I think he if there's a window or anything, he kind of tints the window so no one can look inside, and locks it behind him. And I think this is the same room he does it in every single time he's done it. So I feel like at this point, the center of the room, like the floor in the center of the room, like there's a kind of odd patch of oddly aged, like warped metal.
Yeah.
Where like bits of it seems like brand new, but bits of it seems rusted, and it's just like that patch right in the center. And he walks over to that spot and stands there and closes his eyes and takes a deep breath and breathes out. And instead of air coming out, you kind of see a wisp of the aura, like energy that he emits whenever he's using his powers, kind of like an aura borealis. I think is the word, like northern lights kind of colors coming out. And when he opens his eye, his left eye, the one that has the odd scar around it, is glowing a similar shade and colors to that. And he's going to try to jump through time again.
Once again, as that sort of like that kind of aurora sort of like billows up around you, it suddenly just sort of engulfs you as you are fully in it. This sort of stream of time that is just sort of rushing around you, and you yet completely still inside of it. It's disorienting, moving from a place where where you move yourself through space, and to move into somewhere where time moves around you. As you step fully into time, you begin sort of reaching out, looking for that one particular moment, that moment that you've reached out to so many times over the course of the last few weeks. And then you kind of pinpoint it as kind of after a moment of picking little instances that don't quite feel like the one you're looking for, almost like little drags at your attention in the air. There's finally that one that kind of puts a burnt, almost acrid flavor in your mouth as you find it, and that familiar taste, almost sort of reveling in it in a sort of self-destructive kind of way. You find that moment and you reach out for it, and you begin to will it towards you. And it comes, and you see it moving towards you, as it often does. And just as you begin to be overwhelmed by that acridness of that moment, you hit a wall. There is a sound like the gears of the universe screeching around you. As you, once again, you feel the resistance pushing against you, and you try to push through it. And just in that moment where you feel that tension build up to the point where it has to go somewhere, you give, and you find yourself just shunted off through time, as very suddenly you just sort of go careening through time. You can feel the sort of like burns against your skin as this sort of temporal energy just sort of like ages and de-ages your scales, your skin, everything. You can feel yourself at varying rates aging and de-aging, different parts of your body aging and de-aging independently of each other. You can feel in some places to such a degree taking a toll where you can feel like you can feel your skin just like sort of rupture in some places along your forearms, along sort of your chest. And at the moment where you think you are just about to be pulled apart, you suddenly find yourself on a barren expanse. All around you in the direction that you are looking, you can see what is essentially just arid scrubland, as far as you can see. But you also notice a few things very, very distantly. You notice what look like ruined husks of buildings, ghost towns distantly, just kind of on the horizon. As you look around, there are bluffs and rolling, scrubby hills around you. You can see there are even places where there's like brush and cacti that are just sort of dotting the landscape. But you also, as you kind of look around you, you also see, as you turn, the rise of an enormous, sprawling city. Impossibly high buildings, enormous holographically projected billboards that are just sort of advertising a variety of things. You can see just what looks like products of outrageous advertisements. You can see what look like carrying vessels, like cargo vessels that are just sort of slowly moving towards and away from the city center. And as you are taking all of this in, you become aware that you're not alone in this immediate area, as you begin to hear shouting voices, and as you sort of focus on the source, you can see several humanoid figures. No, not humanoid, human. Lots of humans. Many of them with what looks like some kind of pretty like rudimentary looking cybernetic enhancements on quite a few of them. There appears to be some sort of shouting match between them. And as soon as you focus on them, you see as suddenly like gunfire begins to erupt between them. They just sort of, these weapons fire. It sounds like primarily like projectile weapons. Far more, much more like primitive than what you would have expected to have run across, but it's not entirely shocking, as these moments have led you to all kinds of times and places. You as you're watching this firefight just sort of begin to escalate, you hear behind you the sound of what's like an approaching engine. You turn just in time to see a wheeled ground vehicle just sort of bumping over the terrain, the rough terrain. And you see somebody sort of like push themselves out of the top of the vehicle and grab the cannon on top, like the machine cannon on top. And as they are rushing towards that, you see the person kind of turns and looks at you and kind of makes eye contact. You can see sort of like a confused expression on their face as they see you go past, but then they turn and refocus once again. Along the side of the vehicle, you can see where somebody has like in big bright letters just like graffitied wraiths, and it just sort of goes zooming past, and you find yourself in what is essentially very rapidly become a small war zone.
Yeah. So I think so after I use my power, I'm stunned for a minute. So I think like I physically like can't move. So I'm just looking around, kind of panicked. When fuck, this is not where I was meant to be. And I think the moment he's able to like get feeling behind like in his body again, he hobbles over to some cover and tries to, I guess I think his arm is probably like not shredded, but in pretty bad condition after the aging and de-aging and the stress on the skin and scales.
Mm-hmm.
But he leans back. Okay.
As you're leaning back, you become aware that you're also not alone, kind of crouched behind this sort of like large boulder. There's a person who is just sort of, there's another human who is just sort of sitting with like one leg outstretched, one leg up, and arm just sort of resting on the knee, and just sort of looks at you, and just you can see like one like cybernetic eye that just sort of focuses on you and says, "What kind of gonk brain decision was it to come out here today? You by yourself?"
God. Listen, I did not do this on purpose. I don't even know when I am right now. What's the date today?
It's September 3rd.
That means nothing to me. Okay.
2045? No?
Means nothing. Okay. Okay, do you have anything I can use to wrap my arm? Just can't concentrate right now.
He just sort of looks at you and just fuck. And he turns and like reaches into a bag and hands you what looks like some sort of inhaler that he just sort of hands to you. He says, "It's not gonna stop the bleeding, but it'll start working towards it'll start coagulating some of that." He says, "I've never seen mods like yours before." He kind of like looks you up and down. He says, "Scales."
Yes, I'm a, you know what, never mind. And he's gonna, do I put it in my mouth or?
Yeah, just the button on top,
Okay.
the little, just press.
And he sprays in his mouth.
You just sort of, immediately you can feel just sort of like a rush of like, almost like adrenaline through your system.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah.
I'm gonna go now. And
yeah.
And he just like kind of, it completely ignores this person now, and again just repeats the like ritual of like taking a deep breath, and he's going to use the ability again to try and get back to his time.
All right. Yeah, there's a moment as you begin glowing, you hear but kind of tune out the surprised curses of the man who just kind of helped you out. as he kind of pushes back from you. You kind of tune him out into the background, and then once again that sort of aura of your ability just sort of pulls you in, and suddenly you're once again in time. This time, poking around, much more easily finding the location that you're looking for. That familiar, sort of warm feeling, and you just sort of tug, and once again suddenly find yourself in that practice room, in that in that room.
Fuck. I thought I was nearly there. Fuck. I think like just punches the wall. Fuck's sake. I can't fix it. Can't fix it. Oh fuck, April's gonna kill me.
And I think that's where we're going to go ahead and go to our break. So,
Oh my god.
Holy crap, you guys! I'm looking at the donation bar right now, and we are more than halfway through it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, thank you everybody who has tipped tonight. Y'all are incredible. Thank you so much. We will be back in just like 10 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a little bit. As soon as I remember how to work any of this. Okay, see you in a little bit, everybody. We are back. Hello, everybody. Yeah, definitely. Nightbot has commands, and it must scream.
Nightbot is gaining sentience in the chat.
But welcome back. We are back from our break. Before I get back into just sort of quickly recapping what happened right before we went to break, I will also say I remembered another announcement. So you're getting this one in the mid-episode announcement.
In media res.
So so In Too Deep. Currently, the status of In Too Deep is that we are pushing it back TBA. It will now be TBD because everybody is just sort of in wild states of flux and chaos still. I mean, some of them. So it's
we want to make sure our casts are happy and healthy and rested.
Exactly.
Not stressed out for no reason.
Exactly. And we made these dates. We gave us the power. We can do whatever we want. So
exactly. We brought you into this world. We can take you out.
Wait, hold on. I was not going for the threatening vibe. Jack, abort.
I'm sorry. I'm just in a mindset of
I got you.
I'll turn this ship around, kids.
But yeah,
have McDonald's at home, okay?
More like we'll hold the ship in port for just like a little bit longer.
Yeah,
I think that's the vibe we're going for. We're so close.
The TLDR of this chaotic midstream announcement is In Too Deep will be back soon, hopefully,
TM.
but soon TM. They will be back soon TM. We will let you know. We'll keep you updated. But yeah, so. Okay. Yes, I agree. Time is made up, and time is a weird soup. Time is a weird
Someone
made up
describe
soup.
it as a pie.
Yeah. Is a pie not just a contained version of a contained sweet soup?
I disagree.
I mean,
I also really hate the idea of a time chowder. That is a terrible thing. Like the texture of time, I don't like it. It's not.
Well, especially when you combine, because we already made canon in this show that time smells like burnt rubber and sadness. So that's even worse. Like imagine that but a chowder.
I think I've had a parfait like that once.
Imagine like a pot pie, like a chicken pot pie, but it's like the chowder pot pie, but that's what time is, and it smells nasty.
All right, let's move on. Let's get back
Why
to
are we being gross?
episode.
I love it.
Very uncomfortable.
Back,
All right,
back to the game.
So, okay. So
I love my fans.
God, I'm already crying. God, you guys, you can't do this to me. Okay. Am I crying from laughter or from sadness. I'll let you decide.
Or los dos.
Good point. It is 2021. All right, so we return as Peach, you and Zaya are currently just sort of like, Zaya has like the pads up and she's just just trying to like get you to like hit. She's like, nope, harder, try again. And just better. And like and yeah, like as the two of you are just there, you see one of the doors to sort of one of like the studios just sort of open, and Taeyeon, a very battered and like bloodied Taeyeon, just steps out of that room, kind of like partially like kind of catching himself against the doorway, and then sort of straightening up.
Hey, hi.
I think he like raises his arm to wave and it hurts and immediately puts it down. Hey.
I was trying not to get killed by Zio. I think when you came in, did you come in like that or?
No, it was just intense training.
You know that there are plenty of people who would volunteer to do that for you, right? Like, plenty of them. Like at least 5 that I know of, just off the top of my head.
I don't think any of them could. I train on my own. I'm okay. I'm okay. How is yours going? I think he's like slowly edging away, trying to get away.
I think we're wrapping up, so I can walk you to the med bay.
Okay, sure.
Right, Zaya, we're done for today, right?
She says,
Yeah.
We still have. Oh, yes, we are done.
If I'm interrupting, I can walk myself. I'm okay.
No, we're done for the day. I've learned as much as I can.
He just looks at Zaya.
Yep. I'm just. Well, I'll
okay,
just put this stuff away because we are done. And she just like takes off unstraps like the pads and just starts like taking them.
Peach kind of like looks behind Taeyeon, like into kind of where the practice room is like as if like trying to see like if anyone's in there.
Nope, it is completely empty.
He closes the door the moment he notices her doing that. I probably should get to medbay, so I want to start heading there. If you want to come with,
Yeah. Don't put weight on that. That looks bad. And he's just gonna like literally like take your arm and like walk you down there.
Yeah. Luckily, it is not too far. Just a short corridor walk away. But as you, you step out.
So when were you?
Now?
No, I mean, when were you to get fucked up like this?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I've just been testing the limits of my powers. And I think I found the limit.
Well, I guess it's always good to test your strengths, but I don't know if that wall is going to be easily fixed in there. It's okay. I just wanted you to know that I saw that.
Yeah. I've been trying to go back. And for some reason I can't. I bounced off something. I don't know. Something then. I can't say if it's just general radiation or if the origin of the anomaly. I just bounced back off it and I just wanted to go back. But it seems like I can't fix our mistakes. So I guess we have to figure out something else.
Yeah. Well, now you know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Maybe
He just ghost-sided.
yeah. Wow, I didn't think there was a limit to your powers. I always thought you were unstoppable.
I thought I was too. At least to some extent, I thought I could fix this, but I don't know. I don't know anymore. I really don't know. Starting to wonder if I was the right person for all of this.
Taeyeon, it's a really bad thing to wonder. Like that is not productive. That is not a productive question. And if you repeat it to anyone, I think they're going to say the exact same thing. So maybe just keep that one. Just put it aside.
Yeah, I'll put it aside. I think whatever I inhaled is starting to wear off because the bleeding is picking up again.
Yeah, that arm looks gnarly. I think
Yeah.
we're almost there.
Yeah, you're just sort of arriving at the medical wing. The door just sort of opens as you step inside, and you see Abriel, who's sort of leaning over her desk across from the door, looks up, and she just looks at you, Peach, and then looks at Taeyeon and just goes, God damn it, again?
Yeah.
Says, you know I have my hands full, right? With your other little friend over here who decided to inject unknown serum into his body, and I've been testing him nonstop. I've got all of you hanging outside of my med bay, trying to get, like, wondering, when's he going to be released? When are we releasing Jade? When I've got you coming in here. Sit down.
Doc, he
quietly.
Doc, he says he's found his limit, so hopefully this won't happen again. And Peach kind of gives him like a look of like, God damn it, like you better be telling me the truth right now, like.
Yeah, Abriel is just sort of like going off at this point, like not like it's very clear this is not a conversation. She's just like, damn it, finding your limit? Yeah, more like finding your early grave. And I promise you, if you do this, if you keep doing this to me, I will help you get there. And she's just like, she's like, seriously, do you know how easy that would be for me to do? You know, any number of these chemicals around here, the wrong dosage, easy, done. And just sort of like says, save me and everybody else a whole lot of trouble. Just
He just sits there like holding his arm but doesn't say anything. He just looks down at the ground. Definitely avoids eye contact with Peach when she's like, "You sure?" that's you reach your limit. Just Taylor just like looks down at the ground and doesn't say anything.
She's like, all right, you sit there, don't move. If you move, I will sedate you. And that's not going to be good because the combination of sedatives with what I just gave you is going to make sure that you're going to be asleep for a very long time. I don't think you want that.
Doesn't say anything, just stays quiet.
Yeah. She turns to look at you, Peach, and just sort of like brushes like an errant strand of hair out of her forehead, like off of her forehead, and just looks at you and says, yeah, sorry, did you need something?
Oh, I was just making sure Taeyeon got here okay. And I wanna, can I look at Jade? What does Jade look like?
Yeah, you kind of glance over to the room where there's like
She did want to walk him down, but she also wanted to see Jade.
There is a like divider set up at that end of the room. As she follows your gaze and just, oh, for fuck's sake, go. He's getting ready. Go. And she just sort of gestures over towards like the divider.
I'm gonna go try to go behind it. I want to see him.
Yeah, you walk over and you can see as Jade is like very sort of like very sort of slowly pulling on like just essentially like kind of a poncho hoodie sort of thing, just sort of like pulling it over. And he you can see that his sort of sandy blonde hair is just very sort of disheveled at the moment, and you can see like there's sort of like dark circles under his eyes as he kind of looks up at you and says, "Oh, hey, um, hey."
Hey.
Doc says she's gonna release me soon.
Yeah, you look good.
Do I?
Well, I mean, you don't have like, you know, like 3 extra heads or.
Yeah. Abriel won't tell me, but it's hard to tell. She's not really a good gauge for this sort of thing, but is everybody really mad at me?
It really depends on who you're asking about. There's some anger, but mostly, just worry is really the main feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna read you. I'm not gonna, you know, lay into you because I think that some other people will. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
Tired, mostly. Although a lot less tired than I was before. I've been sleeping a lot. Abriel told me it's been 3 weeks. Doesn't really feel like that. I haven't really been conscious for a lot of it.
Yeah. Has Abriel told you of anything that's been going on?
No. I've asked, but she told me she just kept saying that I needed to rest. And then she gave me that look that she gives you when you don't listen to her being a doctor, and yeah. So no, I don't know anything. Why? Did something happen? Is everybody okay?
Yeah, everyone's fine. There's just been a lot going on outside of us.
Yeah.
But you don't need to worry about that right now. I'm glad you're just feeling tired.
Well, now I'm worried about it.
And Peach is going to hand him her like her terminal so he can like take a look and like basically like pull up like recent like news.
Mm-hmm. He takes it. Yeah, he sort of sits back down on like on the patient bed and just sort of starts kind of.
Now, if like she lowers her voice, please do not react to this loudly because Abriel will probably kill me.
Okay. He kind of looks back, and as he sort of starts kind of scrolling through it, you watch as his expression just sort of changes to sort of like from like that sort of like vestige of that grin that he gave you down to just sort of like seriousness as he sort of frowns and then just sort of open-mouthed shock. And as he sort of scrolls through this, he kind of looks up. He says, "I can't. The corporations did this?"
Yeah. We did what we could, but
I mean, I knew they were bad, but I didn't expect. I mean, I guess I should have expected. Wow. Here, he hands it back. He says, "Did we at least do what we went to do?" Okay.
Yeah. On our end, everything went great.
Okay. He at this point, Abriel kind of comes around the divider and
Peach like takes it back and is like just standing like kind of like nodding and like, you know, trying to like act casual.
She either doesn't notice or just has fully decided it's not worth it, and like she goes up to Jade and just kind of doing sort of like a few sort of like last minute, like she puts like stethoscope basically like up to his back, just sort of, okay. She just says, okay. She kind of takes it. I think you are good to go, but under the condition that I said. Lots of rest, lots of water, and for God's sakes, eat a fruit. And he looks at her and says, "Yeah, will do." And she turns to you, Peach. She goes, "I release him into your capable custody."
Okay. And Peach immediately dials the phone for Bina.
Yeah. Abriel sees you doing
Or,
this.
like,
And
can we get her?
I was just Abriel sees you doing this and just says, "Good, saves me the trouble." And she just like goes over and says, and like you can't see, but you know who she's talking to. But like around the corner, she's just, "I said sit still," and
You're just like, oh, I'm moving.
Yeah. What were you saying, Caitlin?
I say, can I say that Sedona probably would have helped, maybe Alma too, but that Bina would have headed making sure that Jade's quarters were like clean and like he has fresh sheets and like his laundry is done and he's got a bunch of snacks. Like it's very like basically like when someone's in the hospital like for a while, you like friends go, you can you get their house ready for them to come back so they don't have to like you put casseroles in the freezer, kind of that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like that, but like for like resistance quarters, the equivalent of.
Yeah.
There's like snacks in there, and like I got them set up with like a terminal with like some like books and like like that kind of got a switch like that kind of thing. Like I feel like Bina and Sedona and Alma, if she was into it during some free time, maybe spend some time doing that just to like have something to do. So I would just that's done. I
Fair
want to
enough.
say.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, Cypher Unlimited, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, everybody.
Hey, thanks.
Little late on this one, but hi, welcome. Yeah. So you definitely get the call like from Peach.
I haven't lectured him at all. I was saving it all for you and Sedona and whoever else. So
And I think I'm probably with Alma right now, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone else is with us, but I don't even think she says anything. I think she just hangs up and is on her way.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I just turned to Jade and I'm like, okay, so I kind of get why you did it, but I think everyone else is going to be really like, it's just a lot of emotions. So just prepare yourself for, you have about 10 seconds.
I think you hear like Taeyeon like, can I move now? He's okay. He's like, can I move now? I need to talk to Jay. Can I move now?
Abriel just kind of gives you one of those like,
okay.
one of those like slow turn glares, and then just like, and then she just says, "Do not make me regret this." And she just like quickly like starts kind of like spraying the nano gel on your wounds, as just sort of put that, and then kind of like places a bandage over it. And she says, "Do not get them dirty. Do not get them wet. Do not take them off until at least 8 hours have passed.
Okay.
You come back and see me tomorrow, and if you have done any of the things I have explicitly told you not to do, I will know." And she just sits down at the desk, just sort of, and like blows like hair out of her face, and sits back down. As Taeyeon, you sort of like jog slightly to like catch up with Peach and Jade.
Yeah, I think just so that it's great, so we all have it. I think I probably like get up just as Bina and Alma and all of them get in. So just like we're in a united front coming to
just like
Yeah.
a quick like cut back, like as Bina just like hangs up and just exits the room. Like some of the other like mechanics are like looking around, and Alma's just following. She's like, "It's fine, just fine," and just kind of like follows you out of the room. But we'll cut a little while later to like you probably haven't even made it to like the residential area of the of the base, as Bina and Alma and Sedona, coming from like different directions, just sort of like close.
as I am walking down the hallway, is he visibly injured in any way?
I mean, no, he looks just kind of like, he's got that kind of like look of someone who is just exhausted, kind of like that sort of shuffling kind of thing, but otherwise like he looks fine.
At point of contact, as soon as Bina gets up to him, she punches him as hard as she can in the arm.
Ow!
With her 8 might, it's nothing. It is like butterfly kisses. It is so bad. With like double right hook, and then she forearm hugs him as tight as she possibly can. Just in the middle of the hallway. She doesn't say anything. Just the biggest, tightest hug imaginable.
Yeah. He goes, hi. He looks over at Sedona, and she just And Jade goes, I feel like I have some apologizing to do.
No apologizing, only recovering. You're very stupid, and we love you very much. She's.
Hold on,
I think
and
this is like. He's very. He's a lot taller than she is. So this is forearm, chin, like looking up. Like, you're very stupid. I love you very much.
I think Taylor like, actually, I would like an apology. I personally would like an apology. I was fucking worried, and he like storms over to Jade, like probably his arm in like a not a cast, but like arm strapped, like just held down to his side, so he's not moving it too much. But like storms over to Jade and looks like he's gonna punch him as well.
Yeah.
But instead goes for a hug.
Yeah.
You idiots.
I'm sorry. It didn't seem like there was anything else to do, and I didn't know
You
what
could
to
have
do.
done anything but that.
He like, yeah, he hugs you back and then just sort of turns and says, really, I'm sorry. But it's fine. I'm fine now.
How do you
How
feel?
does he feel?
Jade
Our
is
boy.
okay. So he answers Taeyeon and says, tired mostly. And Bina, you can feel like just full on like embarrassment, slight amount of irritation, but like, and then also just sort of a little bit like a fair bit of guilt. But yeah, I'm mostly just tired. I don't really know what's in that thing, but it really knocks you out for a while.
Yeah, we were out for like a month, I think.
Wow.
So.
Yeah,
Wow.
but 3 weeks.
You kind of proceed kind of like down the hallway, kind of towards Jade's room. And as you move on down the hallway, Alma just sort of like looks at you, Taeyeon, and goes, "What happened to you?"
Don't worry.
Okay. And you all kind of like proceed down the hallway to Jade's room. We'll go ahead and cut to the hangar as Mason, you and Becker are landing in one of the shuttles. Having taken Becker's ship, docked it to one of the ships up in orbit, brought a shuttle down. You are now disembarking from that shuttle. Just as you touch down, the pilot sort of calls over his shoulders like, "All right, and we are secure. Feel free to disembark the shuttle. Thank you for flying Air Resistance." And he just sort of like settles in and starts doing like the post-flight checks, and like Becker looks at you, Mason, and says, "Home sweet home."
Yeah, it really is.
The two of you exit the shuttle and begin making your way out. Immediately, like you see, like Zaya is just sort of like leaning up against one of the like tool tables, and she says, "Well, and what kind of time do you call this?"
Just the right, I think.
"Get over here." And she just like gives you a hug, and then like punches Becker in the shoulder, and then says, "So, get anything good for me?"
I shake the codes. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
All right. Revorza's waiting for those up in command, so I want to take. Actually, you know what? I can take him up there for you. The kid just got out of medical wing.
Oh. Is he?
No idea. Abriel is annoyingly tight-lipped about that whole thing. So.
Of course.
But
here you go.
Yeah, thanks. She says, "Welcome back." And she says, "You look like shit." Oh, to Becker. And he says, "Good to see you too."
You owes me some drinks now.
He says, and she goes, It was a trap, right?
It was a trap.
Yeah. See,
right.
What did we say? Becker just says, "I'm gonna go take a shower," and he just.
Yeah, we'll meet up later, Becker.
Yeah, sounds good. And before we'll go ahead and cut to Jade's room as y'all are like, I imagine like Bina and Sedona just like fussing over Jade, like here, sit here, like, whatever.
No,
like,
I think Bina has like.
oh,
gotten
Sedona
her-
fully is like, yeah.
Yes, Sedona fully. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
Bina has like she got her a little bit of aggression out.
Yeah.
She's also been working today, so I think she's just like kind of eyes like a hawking him a little bit, just
Yeah.
like sitting in like a chair, like swinging her little feet and just
Yeah, Sedona has
observing,
in the
just
course of
seeing
the
how
last
he feels.
in the course of the last like 3 minutes since you've been in the apartment, Sedona has brought him a blanket, has like wrapped him in it, has brought him several pillows, keeps like adjusting them, and is just sort of like, yeah. At one point,
How does he feel about that?
he's very embarrassed at the moment.
Yeah, cool. No, he deserves that.
Yeah. Alma just sort
For
of
him,
says,
emotional punishment.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Alma is just sort of sitting there as y'all are just sort of like watching this all take place.
Yeah.
Alma looks over at Sedona and says, "Hey, I don't think that pillow is quite adjusted. I think you might need to do it some more." And Alma Sedona looks at her and goes, "Sorry," and she just sort of like sits down next to Jade and just sort of like puts her hands in her lap. And
Jade, you missed 3 weeks worth of Nurse What. I had them recorded. So just let me know when you're done making silly decisions, and then we can, catch up and watch it together.
yeah, no more silly decisions for me for a long time at the very least. And he looks at
Good
Sedona.
because
Oh yeah, go ahead.
good because I also want to watch Nurse What as well. I've caught up with most of them, but now I think I'm at where you are at.
Y'all glance over and Mason's like walking into the room like yeah.
Mason,
You didn't die.
Go back.
I need to ask. It was a trap, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, we all thought it was a trap.
Yep, thought so.
Jade looks up at you and says, "Hi. Did you just were you gone somewhere?"
Yeah. Just on a little mission for some information.
Good. I mean, good that you're back. I just got here. I just got out.
It's good that you're back too. And I kind of hand him a cup of hot cocoa
Mhm.
that Mason had made just a moment ago.
Mm-hmm. He like takes it, like kind of smiles gratefully and takes a sip. And says,
It's a very full room.
"Yeah, it's a very full room. It's
Really
just like a
weird.
bunch of people just like watching Jade as
Really
he's
small quarters too.
yeah. He just like looks around at all of you and goes, "So."
Okay, I'm just gonna ask. I know we're all wondering. So has Abriel found anything out about the effect of the serum?
He
Have
kinda,
you
like,
found anything out?
looks around the room and says, "Okay, Abriel told me not to say anything until she had finished fully compiling results of the last tests. But
Randier.
she did tell me that my genetic code has been altered in similar ways to yours."
That makes sense. I mean, the serum did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know any more than that. I don't. She says it's possible that it might just be an alteration where like nothing comes of it.
Yeah. I had some people back in my time in I guess the resistance, which is what we're right now. In my time, I've worked with some people in the resistance who also had slight changes, but nothing came of it.
Yeah. Let's yeah, hopefully that's what happened. Bina,
He's lying for sure.
Fully
He's
lying.
100%
He's like
lying.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
No one had to vibe check. We all
I
know
don't think
he's
anyone's
lying.
everyone just looks at Jay like okay. Okay.
He doesn't seem to notice any of that.
The whole room has like a moment, and he's like looking down at his hands, like very,
Yeah.
very morosely.
Yeah. He just sort of says, Honestly, I just want to... I mean, rest, obviously. He, like, looks at Sedona and says, rest, for sure, but I kind of just want to... I want to help. I mean, that's... Peach told me a little bit about what's going on, about what's been happening, and what happened.
How much do you know?
Just what little I was able to skim in the medical wing. Capital cities, the orbital strikes.
Yeah.
Turns out what we stopped was just one part of their plan.
Yeah.
A big one, probably, based on, the radio silence afterwards, but...
Alma nods, and she just sort of like puts like sort of like rubs Jade's upper back and just says, "Probably would have been a hell of a lot worse if we hadn't succeeded or done anything."
Definitely would have been a lot worse.
Jade nods and says, "Okay. So, what are we doing now? Are we taking the fight to the corpse? What are we doing?"
Intel.
Silent. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been no news of the corpse or what they're doing. They kind of just disappeared after the attack. Probably licking their wounds. So
We're in the
ascendancy. Yeah, both sides got hit pretty hard, but the corpse also took some hits as well. So I assume they're probably recouping.
They don't know what to do next, but I'm sure they're planning.
And we're planning too.
Good.
You can jump back on my maintenance crew when you're feeling up for it.
Yeah.
Trying to get the station back online.
Okay.
I don't know much about war, but I can fix stuff. And so can you. So.
Yeah.
What did sorry, Peach, I missed the meeting. Did anything come of it?
Well, I floated the idea of going public with the resistance. Public as in faces attached, names attached. Wire was not enthusiastic. There was mixed reactions. But everything else I can update you on the way out of here. It's not... I don't know if everybody wants to hear the reports.
Well, you can send it to me later.
Okay. Tan, we can grab a drink after this. Maybe.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Alma looks over at you, Bina, and she says, "I just got a message from Brewer. He says that they want us to double check the. We're supposed to meet up with Ada, and double check the functionality of the orbital mirrors.
Okay.
I think they're about to bring one of them online."
Ready to go. Oh gosh. Okay. Big day. Everybody keep calm. Okay. And she's gonna do this like a little circle, like in the room, and is like, okay, we'll do that. And she kind of looks around and she says, dinner at 6, and then she looks at her time. She goes, 7? Can everybody do dinner at 7? And I'm pointedly looking at Jade.
Yeah.
Like
Jade nods and says, "Actually, now that you mention it, I'm really hungry."
I thought you might be. Okay. We'll do this, and then we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Jade nods.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna give Jade a little like shoulder squeeze, and we'll head out.
Yeah. And as they're walking out, Alma walking past you, Tan, just kind of gives you a little like shoulder squeeze on her way out and smiles and walks past.
Tan just like nods and eyes on the ground.
I just kind of squeeze before I head out. Mason squeezes Jade on the shoulder. It's like there's a little something extra in there, as he points to the hot cocoa mug and just kind of like walks away.
Jade looks down at it. and just kind of grins, while Sedona looks like horrified. Like
Hey, there's no drinking age in space.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
he kind of nods and just takes another sip.
Such a kid, just excited about the idea of alcohol.
Jade, if you need anything, just give one of us a call or a message. I'm happy to update you on anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Not Dr. What though? I don't, or Nurse What? I don't. I'm actually haven't watched.
You can
that,
see
so.
Jade like visually cringes as you like say the name wrong.
Try.
And just, he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave you alone. She's gonna like duck out.
Yeah. Yeah, you all leave Jade and Sedona, and as like the door is closing behind you, you can see as Jade just sort of like fully just like lays sideways into Sedona's lap and just sort of like there. She just sort of like rubs his upper arm and just the door closes. I will say at this point, we got time if anybody has any particular scenes they wanna have.
Yeah, with Peach, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So where are the two of you going? The commons or?
I think Peach would invite him back to her apartment.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the much more sort of spacious, sort of like one of that was intended for like the admin of the terraforming base that this once was intended to be. This is like basically just like where everybody else has sort of like a small, almost like a largish dorm room. Peach's place is like a full-on like apartment almost.
Yeah.
As you find yourself sort of sitting in like the kind of like the main sort of sitting area, kind of like living area of Peach's apartment.
So these are the latest reports that we have on casualties, any movements of Commonwealth ascendancy, and she's been like projected up on the wall, and there's also like a bottle of probably like a bottle of like wine sitting on the table.
Oh god. Do we have a number on how many casualties happened from the attacks yet? They've been rising ever since. Do we have a definitive number at any point?
No. Still in flux.
No intel on the corpse still.
None that's helpful. I mean, there's nothing. I've even tried to check out some places that they've been in the past, and a ton of their facilities are just abandoned.
What is the plan now then? Again, I missed the meeting. Did general come up with anything?
Well, I mean, the general always has his plans, but
yeah, honestly, I'm asking so that I can say the exact opposite, because the exact opposite is probably the right choice.
What do you think about? I wanted to talk to you about the going public with the resistance. What did you do that in your time? I mean, I know it's different than now, but
yeah, before we had a few differences, a little bit of things happening earlier than they're meant to, different names behind some of the things, the movements, but for the most part it wasn't too different. But at this point I'm as clueless as to what's going to happen next as you, but I guess without knowing, just using my intuition, I suppose, I do think we need to become public at this point. It's not like people don't know of the resistance. After Ceylon very publicly became part of it, it's kind of impossible to stay in the shadows. I think we should just fully step out into the light before someone else does.
I agree. I think you need to come to the next meeting and say that exactly, because
yeah, I'm sorry about that. I overslept.
No, I don't blame you. I mean, rest is hard to come by these days, and I know it didn't work the way that you wanted it to, but I probably would have done the same thing to try to go back.
Yeah.
If I could.
Kind of like just grabbed his arm a little bit. There's just too many different variables, too many things you need to take into account. Jade, I didn't say everything about the others who've been in similar situations to Jade in my time. I think we need to talk to the doctor. There's, at least from what I understood from the intel we did get on the serums and the doctor, it doesn't seem like this version of the serum is complete. It can't be complete. From what I understand, we've at least done our best to make it almost impossible for the corpse to recreate it. I don't know how pure the serum that Jade could have injected himself with could be. I think we need the doctor.
She is the leading expert, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just don't trust a word out of her mouth.
Neither do I. I still think she's too dangerous with the knowledge she has. But she's an asset at this point. We already have an unknown variable. We need her to make it known. But afterwards, I do think we should deal with the issue after we have made the unknown variable a known one.
Man, I think that you make some good points. He's just gonna pour you a glass of wine after that. The way you said that, she's just kind of like trying to figure out like how best to respond. I think we should talk to the doctor soon.
Yeah. Give me, I don't know, a couple of hours. I'm a quick healer. But yeah, I'm just exhausted right now, so I don't think I have the patience to talk to the doctor right now.
Yeah, I think I need at least like 4 hours to prepare before going into the lion's den.
Yeah, I don't even know if lion's den is the right term for it. I will punch her if she annoys me, so I feel like I need to.
You know, I want to say that I'll be good cop, you'll be bad cop, but I feel like I might be too pissed off to be good cop. So
yeah, we can just be. I'll be honest. I'm not even really a fan of the cop part, but I think we can just be bad. Honestly, I think it's fine, and I think it's very well deserved, and I think he'll hopefully get the results we need. We just need her to look at Jade. Hopefully, Abra won't mind having the assistance.
Peach kind of she's been like kind of projecting like stuff on the wall in front, and she kind of pulls up like recent news footage, probably of whichever one she sees first, but probably like Anne's Law and Prime if it's there.
Okay. there is nothing that you can see that's different from what, like, it's the same kind of coverage. It's basically like the same like news circuit going kind of over and over again that has been playing for the last 3 weeks. Basically just sorry. No new information. Apologies. No new information.
It was an alert. It was just this. It was a rerun.
Yeah, it
of
was
a
just
news
a little
article
like
popping
yeah,
up on the stream.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. See how good I am with the sound effects? I'm getting a lot better at making them happen when I want.
We
them
still
to.
have Windows in this time.
Yeah.
Full universe.
Retro
is
sound
to
pack
update?
from
Let me
Old
just,
Earth.
Yeah.
update later.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, so you excuse me. Yeah, it's a lot of the same news stories running over and over again, with like the news cycle just sort of repeating the same stories, showing you the same interviews.
We can hear
We got
voice
mod entities here.
yeah, it's on like entity.
So scary.
I'm so
That
sorry.
scared the shit
How
out of
did
me.
that even
It's still
happen?
happening. It's your voice is echoing like a million times.
Yeah. This is when you found out entity was our GM this whole time.
Oh good gosh.
That actually the voice model was Lucas's normal real voice, and this is Lucas.
The plot thickens.
Ah, entity's been here the
Is
whole
this better?
time.
No, it's still
Echoing.
No, we can
echoing.
hear
Got like a
double of you for some
double
reason.
voice.
Weird.
Is it picking up voice mod and your normal mic at its like twice? Because I know voice mod can also be an audio output.
I don't know.
Oh, so it's not echoing in stream apparently.
I know what's
John
happening.
Neiman said
I
so.
know what's happening. There we go. How's that?
Still
No.
echoing.
No,
Still
it's
happening.
double.
Still weird. It's like a second, like like a quarter of a second after it repeats
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me try something real quick.
Oh, there.
So it was that. It was.
Yeah,
the
you're good
sound.
now.
Okay, but I don't. Yeah, I know it's. I figured it's not echoing stream. This is a Zoom problem.
It's
Yeah.
okay now.
I know.
It was picking
but
you.
that's
Oh, it
'cause
must
it's
be.
not.
Yeah, it was
Because
That's
picking
because
up
I'm
your
not
desktop
sharing
audio.
sound, but it
Yeah,
shouldn't.
your
probably
audio
get
is
it.
coming back through your shared sound.
It shouldn't be
weird.
because it's turned off. That's.
No, I'm saying
specific.
that's probably that's what it was. It's not
But
anymore.
why it's
I
happening
know.
is weird.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that it, like that is like the hear myself option on voice mod is turned off, so it should not
Yeah,
have
so it
been
shouldn't be
protecting.
happening.
Malfunction.
Anyway.
Malfunction.
Weird.
At least, hey, look how far we got through the episode before something like that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
so
us, it just looks like the crew's going crazy.
they're just.
You don't hear it?
Yeah.
I
Oh
hear
god,
the
there's
voices,
an
right? You hear
artifact.
it?
No. It's taking them over. Yeah. No. You just it's a lot of those same rerun news stories over and over again. There's nothing new. It's just the kind of thing that like is being put out there largely. Peach, you would have this particular knowledge just from your background in politics. It's the kind of news that is being put out there because like just to kind of placate people to like make them feel like they're getting information.
But it's like the same story over and over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think Tim like looks up at that and I think pours himself a glass of wine and just kind of looks to Peach and just says, "Any news by your mum?"
Nope. I'm gonna pull up do I have any new messages from
You have
Vix?
somehow you have managed to miss a new message from Vix that all it says is still looking. I'll let you know if I find anything.
No word.
Why aren't you? I know why, but do you want to go out and look?
It's one of the first things I tried to do when we got back, but somehow Vix convinced me that he should go do it, which I know there's a lot to do around here. I know that there are more important things to do, but it's hard not to think that I'd do a better job than him.
I give him a lot of grief, but I think he's doing his best, and I think I think he'll find her.
But then if he does find her, I keep thinking, then what? Do we bring... how do we?
Yeah.
How do we bring her to justice? I mean, she was. We can't bring her here. I don't even know if there's a record of what she's done. I mean, there are just so many unknown factors right now. It's kind of driving me crazy. So
she's your family, and if you do want to bring her here, we'll welcome her. The whole point of the resistance is, I suppose, to fight back, but also to help those who need helping. And I feel like having a city you're meant to be looking after bombed, it counts as a person who needs some sort of help. But I think the rest of the crew probably would agree with me. It's up to you what we do next with her specifically.
I don't really think she needs help. I think she needs to be held accountable. And Peach kind of like kind of zooms in on like the footage of kind of the wreckage of the cities that they're showing.
Yeah. You see a once very familiar governmental complex now rendered unrecognizable as twisted metal spires melted partially in the orbital bombardment rise up with smoke even this long afterwards still rising from the ruins.
Yeah. I think a lot of people need to be held accountable for this.
Tan, as soon as we have word of any court movement, as soon as we know anything, we're not going to sit and wait around. I don't care what Wire says. I don't care what any of them say. We're going to do something. So
we can't hesitate.
You're going to be the first one I call. I want you to know that.
I tried very hard to keep the war, I suppose, away. In my time, it wasn't meant to happen so soon. I didn't want all of you to have to go through the things I did so soon, but I think we're at the point where there's no choice. You're going to see a pretty awful side of war. We can't shy away from that anymore. We won't hesitate. I won't hesitate.
I guess it's an asset to us that you've seen it before, but
yeah, I guess. Yeah, just happened a little bit differently, but I just hope that everyone's able to accustom to the change.
I know this is a weird sentiment to you probably, but I think we just have to take it one day at a time. Can I say that to a time traveler? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. At this point, your comms activate. You hear Alma. This is going to like all of you, but Alma says, y'all might not want to miss this. We're bringing the orbital mirror online. Says, may I suggest you get to a window sometime? Very soon.
Well, that sounds better than what we're doing right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
wine bottle being carried with.
Yeah.
He's got his wine glass as well.
Y'all we'll cut over to the sort of to ops, Bina, as you are sort of running the final checks, and communicating with like the orbital station.
Is Ada Spriggs with me?
Yeah, Ada's here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And they're just sort of next to you running like double and triple checks on all like the code. And she just kind of looks up and just gives you like, we're good here.
Okay.
Ready?
And then let's do it. On comms with up top.
Mm-hmm.
Ready when you are.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged ground. We're good to go here. On your mark.
Fire away.
With that, you see, as on your display, you watch as like the orbital mirror begins powering up. These powerful terraforming tools that were left behind when this place was abandoned, intended to like redirect and amplify the distant sunlight from the system, to kind of begin create something approaching a livable climate. That you look up, you can't quite see it from down here in its entirety, but what you can see is the sort of soft sort of shimmer. But you know, Bina, that what's happening in orbit is far more spectacular. Again, this sort of
Can you pull up any footage?
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah.
I want to pull up some footage so everyone who's helping me doesn't have to miss it.
Right. So you watch as essentially this almost like this sort of large, kind of concave, sort of oval begins sort of opening up from sort of expanding from one point, kind of fanning out, as it begins sort of opening this enormous mirror, one of probably 6 or so that were left behind in various states of disrepair, or like just hadn't fully been put together, literally looking like they had just been dropped in the middle of trying to assemble them. But you watch as this one on the feeds just starts kind of fanning out this very like reflective sort of material, that then just sort of starts orienting itself, and you hear over comms from orbital like, beginning adjustment protocol. Stand by.
Standing by.
You watch as those of you who are watching, like Peach and Tan from Peach's apartment, Mason and Becker and Abriel from the commons, just sort of like looking out through the enormous floor-to-ceiling windows in the commons. You can see just very briefly, in sort of the low twilight that has kind of become the norm over the last few weeks, you watch this reflective ripple sort of go throughout the sky and then sort of almost vanish, from your perspective, as it begins to sort of adjust to a point where it can do its job without being visible from the ground. But Bina, you watching the feeds are seeing as this essentially planetary mirror finishes its kind of its fanning out and then just sort of locks in place, and you watch as it kind of like the thrusters, like the maneuvering jets on the side of it, sort of maneuver it kind of into position, and then you hear control from orbital. You hear adjustment protocol completed, working on fine-tuning geosynchronous orbit. Orbital adjustment complete in 3, 2, 1. Orbital adjustment complete.
I think Bina's been holding Ada Spriggs' hand and Alma's hand, and has been like everyone's been holding hands, holding breath down the station. And once it's like locked into place, just like the collective exhale. Yeah. And she just goes, "Good morning, Starshine."
Yeah. And you hear control, or the orbital station says, "That's it, ground. Congratulations on not being quite so much of a popsicle. We are go."
Good work. Good work.
There's sort of like scattered clapping throughout the like engineering dock, and even like
there's
Mason...
definitely a wave of the burst of excitement from Bina that everybody just gets a little hit of.
And Mason, where you are in the commons, like there's lots of people who have basically pressed themselves up against the window looking up, as like that last transmission from Orbital was sort of broadcast throughout like the station's PA, and everybody just sort of like kind of cheering, looking up, as even now it does seem to be almost a little bit brighter outside than it was before. Peach and Taeyeon watching from Peach's apartment window, looking up, seeing this.
Towards the warmth. Wasn't a fan of the freezing cold.
But you didn't like feeling like a popsicle at all times?
No, especially because I'm literally cold-blooded.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, that sun looks nice. We should go.
Yeah.
I know we have a lot to do, but maybe we should go out in it.
Maybe later. I think I'm gonna look over the reports again.
Okay, we can do that outside.
I'll look over the reports in my quarters. Thank you for the invitation, though. Thank you for the wine. And he just like downs it.
Or you can take the rest. They're long reports.
I have a feeling it's probably best I don't.
You get a ping from Bina that says, "Reminder, dinner in an hour and a half."
Okay. I think I can look over some reports in an hour and a half, and he's gonna head out.
Hey, Taeyeon, if you need anything, I'm here.
Same to you.
I can always make more wine.
I don't want to make this a habit.
It'll only last in your system for like an hour and then go away, so it's okay.
I don't want to ask because I have a lot of questions that come with that, like me being a time traveler. How would that I don't want to make this a habit. Thank you, but I'm not making this a habit. Goodbye, Peach. And he heads out.
I'm gonna go outside.
Sounds good.
And anyone who I see on the way, I'm like, we should go feel the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as you stand, those of you, whoever wishes to be present for it, Peach and anybody else gonna be outside?
I think Bina might want to go look at it.
Okay.
I'm going outside.
Okay. I'll say probably Becker and Abriel come too. So you step outside, standing. Cut to a little while later as the group of you and probably several other people from the base itself standing outside, still in jackets. It's still not like warm by any stretch, but you're standing just sort of on this sort of snow-covered mountainside, looking down out over the snowy tundras below, far below, and standing in, while it is cold outside, you can finally, for the first time since setting foot on this planet, you can actually feel the warmth of the sunlight as well as see it.
I think some of the sunlight is kind of sticking to Bina a little bit. Like, I think she's like glowing just like a teeny bit, but just out of excitement.
Yeah.
How's that for a new beginning?
Oh, that's very nice. Very nice indeed.
It's needed.
I really like the cold, but it's good to have both.
Well, I mean, you don't even feel the cold. That's not really a fair.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I
forget.
Bina, I like your blush.
Thanks. And she kind of like puts it on her fingers and reaches up and like pats you on the cheeks, and it'll stick to your cheeks too.
Peach probably do that like as a full smile on her face at this point. For once in 3 weeks.
Yeah. As you're just sort of standing there, Becker just sort of looks over you and is like, "Peach, you've got something on your face."
Yeah, I do.
He looks over at you, Mason, and says, "You got some too, Mason. You got something on your face."
Mason just like squints his eyes keenly
immediately,
at
like a
Becker.
snowball comes like directly at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right when Mason's bringing up a cigarette, it's just like,
Yeah.
all right.
Don't even play this game with me. Bina reaches down all 4 hands
Yeah.
and comes up with 4 snowballs.
And this quickly devolves into just like a throwing of like snowballs at each other. And so as the camera sort of like the camera would be sort of sort of zooming out, you can hear like the shouts and like the laughter as everybody's going. There's just sort of a soft like magenta glow, and you hear the sound of like Alma's voice like, "Hey, that's cheating!" And like, and then as we sort of slowly sort of pull out, and out, and that's where we will end tonight's session. Welcome back, everybody.
Ooh.
Back.
Tan was too busy reading the depressing
Yeah.
reports to get the snowball fight.
Yeah.
Got some things to work through.
Oh, that was a delightful return.
Wow.
I missed everyone.
Amazing.
The thing is, like, off stream, we've hung out quite a bit, but like, I still miss everyone.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, everyone, welcome back to Infinite Horizon. We will be stuff. What is this? What show is this? What is Infinite Horizon? Listen.
We have to balance the angst and the joy. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Imagine if we
You
kept
can't
ramping
team.
up after that finale.
Oh,
Like if we
terrible.
did, if
Right?
it kept go, there was no. Oh my gosh!
It peaks and
God.
valleys. Peaks and valleys. That's what you got to
Yes,
do. You
yeah.
know.
I think all of our hearts would give out if we kept
Mhm.
putting up.
Hey, I'm sure. Don't worry. I'm sure we'll get some sad shit in
coming.
here more.
It's
We'll
coming.
get plenty of angst, don't worry.
We get our little snowball fight reprieve.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We're going to head out for the evening. Thank you so much, everybody who came by and watched, everybody who was in the chat, everyone who donated to our tip goal, which we have going on.
Yes.
For those of you who were not here at the beginning to hear about it, we are highly encouraging everybody, in light of all of the hate raids and continued inaction on the part of Twitch to deal with that. We are trying to heavily encourage everybody to support us on other platforms. Currently, like the links in the that are going to be given to you with the commands that are currently going, those will take you. Currently, they will go to those go specifically to the Streamlabs tips, which there's also like a bar. That's what the bar is tracking. But if you would rather support us on something a bit more familiar like Coffee or Patreon, those are also great alternatives to subbing on Twitch. We are, of course, if you subscribe on Twitch, we are still very grateful for it. We appreciate it. We're just trying to encourage everybody to support us outside of Twitch, because not only is it sort of hitting Twitch in its bottom line, but also if everybody does it, but also it is going to basically cost you less or the same amount to support us more, because we get a much better split. We get like 100% of everything that goes through Streamlabs and through Coffee, and we get like basically almost everything except for about like I want to say 5% that goes to Patreon. So everything, it's a way better way of supporting us, and also managed to in as much as you are able, help us in our small way try to make this platform better and safer by sending that message to the powers that be. So we appreciate you, everyone who has donated tonight, who has I saw a couple of Patreon subscriptions come in during the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Katrina.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you all so much. We just to recap, we will be kind of pushing into deep back to we will find out as we go along. We want to make sure that everybody all of the cast there are in a stable place before we can before we come back, because we do not want them to be like on focusing on being on stream when they've got all kinds of things happening. We don't want that, so we want them all to be rested and happy and enjoying their time here. So we will let you know as soon as we have any definite plans for the return of In Too Deep. But until then, we will be here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific to do Infinite Horizon. We will be here every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific to do Ramblemancy. At least for a little while, we're going to be continue doing these topicless rambles because they are low effort and it's fun. It's a lot of fun to just like talk about whatever and not knowing what's going to happen going in. So we're going to be doing that. Saturdays, but not this Saturday. We will be doing the Mass Effect streams in the Discord, not on Twitch. So Discord. There's no pressure whatsoever to join in like on voice communication, whatever. I think you do have to be in the channel in order to see the stream, but you don't have to participate in voice stuff. There is a text channel where you can do that, or you could just lurk. That's perfectly fine too. But we will be doing that Saturdays, not this Saturday, but after that. And so yeah, I keep forgetting that is a command. And so yeah, you can join us on Discord. That's where we have all of our major announcements, everything that is coming directly to you. And like that's the place where you can get all of our announcements like earliest. It's the place where they're gonna be. You get like our weekly schedule, everything, all that sort of stuff. You get a chance to shout about this and other programming on there as well.
Which chord?
Discord.
I'm pretty sure
God.
it's Discord.
Discord?
God damn it.
Discord? Oh, that's a couple chords.
Why do you always have props ready, Freeman? You
Discord.
always come in with a great prop.
Always do the practical jokes. We love it.
Incredible.
I have a problem.
All right.
No, you have chords.
Everyone, we are going to go. Thank you so much once again for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We are going to go stage a chord-related intervention for Freeman, but we will see you hopefully on Friday for Ramblemancy, but if not, we will see you the next time you decide to come roll with us. Thank you so much, everybody. Good night and good zone, and welcome back.
Such a